the whispering grove of fluff trees. Once, in a valley where the moonlight never quite left the ground, there grew a forest called the Whispering Grove. The trees there were not made of bark and rings, but of fluff. Soft, silver-blue fluff that floated like dandelion wishes even when no wind blew. They were called fluff trees, and when they laughed, their branches shed little puffs of light that turned into fireflies before they hit the ground. Deep in the grove lived Juniper, the smallest fluff tree. Her fluff was still pale as morning mist, and her roots barely tickled the moss. The older trees towered above her, their branches heavy with glowing fruit that sang when ripe. Juniper wanted to sing too, but every time she tried, only a tiny poof came out. "You'll find your song," hummed Elder Cottonbark, his voice like a lullaby. "Every fluff tree does, in her own season." Juniper wasn't alone in waiting. The grove was full of other gentle, odd little plants. There were blush buds, shy flowers that hid underground when startled, leaving only pink ripples in the soil. There were lantern vines that climbed the fluff trees and lit up when someone told the truth nearby. And near the creek, puddle puffs bounced. They were round, teal moss balls that giggled and multiplied whenever someone skipped a stone. One night, the moon forgot to rise. The grove went dark, and for the first time the fluff trees couldn't glow. Their fruit stayed silent. The lantern vines dimmed. Even the puddle puffs stopped bouncing, scared of the dark. "Without moonlight, we can't make our light," whispered Cottonbark. "The grove will fall asleep forever." Juniper felt her fluff tremble. She was too small to reach the sky, too young to know big magic. But she remembered what Elder Cottonbark said. Every fluff tree has a song. So she closed her eyes and tried to sing. Not a big fruit song, just her own tiny poof, poof. Nothing happened. Then again, poof, poof, poof. Each poof was small, but warm. The blush buds heard it and peeked out, their petals giving off a faint rose glow. The lantern vines flickered just once because Juniper's poof was true. She really wanted to help. One puddle puff bounced toward the sound and bumped Juniper's root. Then another. Soon the whole creek of puddle puffs was bouncing, giggling, bumping into each other with tiny sparks. The sparks floated up. They caught on Juniper's fluff. They caught on Cottonbark's beard. The whole grove began to shimmer, not with moonlight, but with poof light. And then the fluff trees remembered. They didn't need the moon to glow. They needed each other. One by one, the fruit began to hum. The lantern vines blazed gold. The blush buds opened wide, painting the night in pink. The grove was brighter than it had ever been under moonlight, because it was lit by friendship. From that night on, Juniper's song wasn't poof anymore. It was a melody of giggles, hums, and rustling fluff. Travelers say, if you walk through the Whispering Grove on a moonless night, and you're very, very kind, the fluff trees will sing you to sleep with a lullaby made of light. And if you listen close, you might still hear the smallest poof of all, right at the heart of it. The end.